Hello, my name is Russell Squire, and this is the first in what may be a series of podcasts on the subject of mindfulness. Now, you may have come to this podcast because of the title, Mindfulness, Why Bother?, for which I thank you, and I hope you feel inspired to begin a mindfulness practice. Or you may already have a practice and find there is something here that helps or is maybe new to you. And hold on for my guide to mindfulness, helping to make you healthier, wealthier, and happier. So first, what is mindfulness? Well, there are very many definitions out there by very many people, and my version is literally that it's just paying attention. It's paying attention for as much of the time as possible with no judgment. And we're intending to be aware of the external environment as well as the internal. And lastly, maybe not even lastly, but a touch of curiosity really helps us to keep focused on what's happening, and it undercuts that assumption that we know what is coming next. Because no matter how often this situation has happened in the past, there will be differences. This is not those times. So it keeps that judgment at bay, and really when we're in a judgment frame of mind, it's quite a closed place to be, so it keeps us open. Now, like I say, there are very many versions out there. Jon Kabat-Zinn was the originator of the way mindfulness is taught in terms of the mindfulness-based stress reduction course, and his definition is widely used, but really it's about being in this moment. But there's a lot going on there, so that's why mindfulness is currently going through such an explosion, and hopefully you'll just find this a little different from other people and relate to what I'm saying. So thank you for being here. So I've called it a mindfulness practice, and that word is a bit jargony, but it really does describe what we're doing when we're doing mindfulness, because there is no such thing as perfection, not in an attempt at trying to do something. You know, there's very good tennis players, but they will tell you that there were places they could have improved, even if it's Novak Djokovic, number one in the world. So it's this intention to keep practicing, and it's an ongoing practice. We will always fall off the horse of paying attention in this moment, but the master gets back quicker. We all can get back to this present moment. So in the word practice, we also encompass meditating, which is known as formal practice. Maybe some more jargon there. And there's the moments of mindfulness during the day, moment by moment, which we call informal practice. And if you don't want to use the word practice, you don't have to, but if I'm talking about it here, you'll know why. So in this first of hopefully many podcasts, I want to share a little about what got me into this and what might draw you a little further in, or even try it for the first time. And when I say further in, I'm really only talking at the base of it about understanding yourself, further into yourself, and really appreciating what an amazing being you are. That's really the gift of mindfulness. I often think about the alchemists of old, was it the 14th or 15th century, European scientists trying to find this compound that would change metal into gold. Often lead was one of those things, a base metal. And they were hoping that this compound would be the philosopher's stone. And I see mindfulness in these terms. Imagine you're in a destructive cycle of thoughts and emotions, and it could be triggered by any number of things. But on this occasion, you don't lash out at that loved one. You avoid inflicting emotional wounds. And by this avoidance, you can potentially turn what could be a negative situation into a positive, certainly less damaging. And that's, for me, as good as turning lead into gold. We can often get caught into a way of being or reacting, and I'm sure you've had the situation where you're having what seems to be the same argument. It could start in a different place even, but if we can catch ourselves and really notice what's going on, we might just become aware that this emotion is within us and it's not the fault of something or someone outside of us. So it might be the same argument. It might feel like it's an outside situation, but it is triggering something that is within us. And if we can break into our normal cycle, we can stop that destructive behavior and maybe prevent those painful emotions from leaking outside of us. Even the Dalai Lama tells us that he gets angry. He is just a master of recognizing it in himself so that we only ever see the wise, friendly, and compassionate person. Remember, it's a practice, so imagining we'll rid ourselves of an emotion forever is simply impossible. We wouldn't be human if that happened. So there's a whole heap of research into the benefits of mindfulness and meditation, literally thousands of peer-reviewed studies. You'll also find many testimonials on how people have used mindfulness to reduce stress, sleep better, or improve relationships. What I would warn against, though, is expecting a cure-all, full-blown miracle. We could be talking about lifelong situations, complex scenarios that we hold within us, and we're talking about our own behavior. So a transformation in deep-rooted conditions is possible. It just won't change overnight. What the research shows is that continued application of mindfulness and meditation is what works best. And these benefits are evident even after just 1 month, and they last much longer than that. Even a little bit, but consistently. You don't go to the gym once a month and expect it to make a big difference, and this is the same. What I would like to do is just have a short bit of practice around one of the types of meditation. It's called the body scan. And I know that when I first did it, it was a guided meditation, and it was around 5-10 minutes, maybe, no longer than that. And that's what I'll do here. But I couldn't believe how it had made me engage with my body. It was the end of the day, and yet I still felt really energized by it. And there's many of these guided meditations on my YouTube channel, and the link to that is on my website at russellsquire.com. And like I say, this is a demonstration of one of the different ways to meditate and to be mindful, because you'll find you can do the body scan wherever you are during your day, whether it be waiting in the line at a supermarket or at the photocopier. So you can do this wherever you are. You can do this if you're in a particular, you might be sitting on a normal chair. You might even be already in that sort of more, traditional or presumed best way to be meditating. There is no best way, but you might be sitting on a cushion on the floor, or you could be in a chair. As long as you can feel that you're relaxed and you won't be bothered for 5-10 minutes, and that's all good. You can be upright away from the chair or even resting back. It doesn't matter too much. Okay, so what I'll do is ask you, better if you close your eyes, and we'll start by tuning into your feet and any other places where there is contact. It could be your hands and forearms on the arm of a chair. It could be your seat, wherever, if you're on a chair, just feeling where you're in contact. Maybe letting your weight drop down, feeling gravity. Then starting with your feet and your left sole. Feel your heel of your foot and the ball of your foot. Feeling the toes and the top of your foot, the ankle, over to the left sole, the heel, the ball of your foot, your toes, the top of your foot, your ankle. Now moving up on your right shin, and your right calf muscle into the knee. Now doing the same with the left shin, the left calf muscle, and feeling into the knee. Maybe try the inside as well as the outside. There's no right way to do this. How you feel it is how you feel it. Continuing on the left leg, feel your thigh, the inner thigh, the outer thigh, the top and the bottom, up into the hip. Now on the right leg, come into the right thigh, the inside, the outside, the top and the bottom, and into the hip. So feeling both your hips there. Maybe if you can, the sit bones, your buttocks, and the sacrum at the base of your spine. Coming round to your waist, and come up the front of your body, your stomach, your chest, into the collarbones. Now onto the back, starting at the sacrum at the base of your spine, coming up the lower back, the middle of the back, the upper back and shoulder blades. Tuning into your shoulders, are they hunched forward, backwards? Can you relax them anymore? Not a problem if you can't, just noticing what's going on there. Then the left shoulder, the upper part of your arm, the biceps, the back of the arm, the elbow, your left forearm, your hand, the back of your hand, the palm, and then feeling your fingers. Staying stationary as much as you can, but seeing if you can feel them without the need for movement. Then across to the right shoulder, the upper arm there, the biceps, the back of the arm, the elbow, the forearm, the right wrist, the back of the hand, the palm and the fingers. Now into the neck, the back of the neck, as it connects the back to the back of your head, the base of the skull. And just move around to the front of the neck, the Adam's apple, and up into the chin. I'm feeling your left ear, your right ear, your scalp. Sometimes there's tension here. Again, with the forehead, sometimes there's tension. You might feel this relax by itself. The temples, the eyes, your nose, where you may feel the breath coming in and going out, your cheeks, your lips, and your chin. With your breath coming in and going out, can you feel the movement of your chest? Or maybe that movement's in your belly. At this point, if you wanted to go on, you could then just tune into the breath for a while. But I'll leave that guided meditation there. That is just 5 minutes. So you can see that only having 5 minutes could in fact be long enough to do a quick body scan, a moment out from your day. If you find that you really got less time than that, there's the 2 feet, 1 breath, where you would literally tune into each foot in turn, and then 1 breath in and out. Even that can help to bring you back to the moment. Ask yourself, what am I doing this task for? And then carry on. It might be that you'd become distracted and you were headed out the door, not checking your phone. So why meditate? Well, the more we do this, the more we will become present during the day. And partly I wish to bring to you why you want to be more present during the day. And that's the point of this podcast, of course. And by being in that moment, we'll see what's actually going on in that moment. It could be that you feel you've done this before and you can be thinking about something else. But even washing up, you can give your brain a rest and engage with that washing up. You might then find that, in fact, there is a feeling that needs attending to within you. Or it might be that something marvelous is happening right outside the window that you may have missed. There could be birds on the feed, or there could be anything. So being in this moment will yield more than you might imagine. So let's just come into my bold claim about making you healthier, wealthier, and happier. It is a bit tongue-in-cheek, but let's just consider that instead of reaching for that chocolate bar when you get into the car after work, or that alcoholic drink when you get home, let's just imagine that you just pause for a moment. Is this just something you do? Is this some sort of auto response you do when you get in from work or when you get in the car? And maybe you might feel like breaking that habit. A little bit of something is okay, but could this just be a habit that's not serving you? So you might benefit from breaking that routine somehow, not having that drink as soon as you get in and having a shower instead, or standing on the back door smelling the fresh air. You can still have that chocolate bar or that drink, but you're doing it with a more of a mindful choice to do so. And if we're thinking about quitting smoking, there's plenty of resources out there based around mindfulness. drjudd.com, that's drjudd.com, drjudd.com. Judson Brewer is an amazing practitioner of mindfulness who really decided to see how meditation changed the brains of himself and people that he knew, and he's moved on to helping people to break bad habits and really come back into that moment. And coming into the moment of smoking was one where all of a sudden people were saying, I couldn't believe how bad it tasted. And they were able to smell the smoke on themselves. So just that mindful awareness helps to break the habit around smoking. And of course, you will save a lot of money if you give up smoking, which means you'll be wealthier. And again, with this breaking a habitual cycle, if you get a train commute somewhere, maybe less so than in the past, but let's say your online shopping is a thing for you, you might feel that this retail therapy is just going into something mindlessly. You might want to just look out the window, take a pause and a breath, and 2 feet, 1 breath, and just notice. It might be that you carry on doing what you're doing, but you'll be doing it more mindfully. So let's just focus on 1 breath in and out. Feel into the feet, one and then the other, and then carry on. And how about happier? Well, this can simply be a case of just noticing and being with the feeling of being happy. If you're noticing that feeling and being with it, those extra moments of happiness are really good for your brain, really good for your being. I was once riding my bike home after a yoga class a few years back and noticed I had a smile on my face. And I was quite surprised, but noticing that, I found that I in fact was in a much deeper state of relaxation than was normal for me. And this was while riding a bike on the roads of North London, so no mean achievement. You might be able to reframe a situation to see the funny side instead of being angry or depressed about it. And this would be a subject for another podcast, but just zooming out from that intensity that grips you, might help you see that the vision has been too tightly in on a subject. And in fact, it's not so important, or it's something you might need to be aware of in a different way. So, awareness. Now, breaking or forming new habits is all about new behaviors. And new behaviors are essentially changing the wiring of our brains. It's said that neurons that fire together wire together. And this is literally what's going on in our neural network. So forming new habits gets easier as those new networks form more solidly, but it does require some work initially, not least because other networks are dying off that associate relaxation with, say, having a cigarette. So there's plenty more on my website, russellsquire.com. That's 2 S's and 2 L's in Russell, and Squire, russellsquire.com. There are guided meditations on my YouTube channel, and there's lots of suggested reading and other websites to go to. The Be Here Now network is fantastic. Jack Cornfield is on there. He's one of my teachers, and there should be plenty there to keep you interested. Like I say, I hope that this is the first of many more podcasts. I'll try and keep them short. This is under 25 minutes, so not bad at all. Okay, thanks very much for staying through to the end, if you have, and I will be back soon. Bye now.